Tell us about your experience as a program coordinator.
In my previous role, I coordinated multiple projects simultaneously, from inception to completion. I was responsible for managing timelines, budgets, and communication between stakeholders. One of my main achievements was streamlining communication processes, which led to a 20% reduction in project delays. I also ensured that the program met all compliance and quality standards, and I regularly reported progress to senior management.
How do you prioritize tasks in a busy program management environment?
I prioritize tasks by assessing the urgency and impact of each activity. I use project management tools like Asana and Trello to track deadlines and deliverables. I also make sure to allocate time for unplanned tasks and emergencies. I always ensure that high-priority tasks that align with program goals are completed first. For example, during the last project, I focused on finalizing key contracts and approvals before proceeding with less urgent tasks.
How do you handle conflicts or disagreements between stakeholders?
I believe in addressing conflicts early through open communication. I encourage all parties to express their concerns and work collaboratively to find a solution. For example, in a previous project, two stakeholders had conflicting priorities. I arranged a meeting where both parties could voice their perspectives and suggested a compromise that aligned with the program's goals, which resulted in a mutually agreeable solution.
Can you provide an example of a program you managed that didn't go as planned? How did you handle it?
In a previous program, unexpected delays from a key supplier caused a setback. I immediately reassessed the timeline and communicated the new expectations to the stakeholders. I also found an alternative supplier to mitigate the impact and created contingency plans to avoid further delays. This proactive approach minimized disruption and kept the program on track.
How do you ensure a program stays within its budget?
I monitor the budget regularly and keep track of all expenses using budget tracking tools like Excel or financial management software. I ensure that all expenditures are justified, and I communicate with the team if there are potential budget overruns. I also make it a point to negotiate with vendors for better rates when possible and avoid any unnecessary costs without compromising the quality of the program.
How do you measure the success of a program?
I measure the success of a program by evaluating whether it meets its predefined objectives, stays within budget, and is completed on time. I also assess the feedback from stakeholders and program participants to gauge satisfaction. Additionally, I track key performance indicators, KPIs, such as engagement rates, cost efficiency, and overall impact to determine the program's success.
How do you keep stakeholders informed about the progress of a program?
I keep stakeholders informed through regular updates, which include progress reports, meetings, and email communications. I use visual aids, like charts and graphs, to present data in an easily digestible format. In addition, I make sure to address any concerns or questions they might have, ensuring transparency and trust throughout the process.
What tools do you use to manage programs effectively?
I have experience using several project management tools like Microsoft Project, Trello, and Asana. I use these tools to create timelines, assign tasks, track progress, and collaborate with team members. For financial management, I rely on Excel and budgeting software to keep track of expenses. Additionally, I use communication tools like Slack and Zoom to ensure seamless communication with all stakeholders.
Describe a time when you had to adjust a program's scope due to unforeseen circumstances. How did you manage it?
During a recent program, we faced a sudden change in regulations that affected the scope of our project. I immediately convened a meeting with the key stakeholders to discuss the implications and potential solutions. After reviewing the situation, we adjusted the scope by redefining deliverables and timelines, ensuring compliance with the new regulations. I communicated these changes to the team and stakeholders, which helped to mitigate confusion and keep the program moving forward.
What is your approach to team collaboration?
I believe in fostering a collaborative environment by ensuring that every team member has a clear understanding of their roles and responsibilities. I encourage open communication, active participation in discussions, and problem-solving together. In my last role, I organized weekly team check-ins to discuss progress, share challenges, and brainstorm solutions. This helped to maintain a high level of engagement and team cohesion.
How do you manage multiple programs simultaneously?
Managing multiple programs requires strong organizational skills. I break down each program into manageable tasks, create detailed timelines, and allocate resources efficiently. I also set up regular check-ins to monitor progress and make sure I'm staying on top of all programs. Prioritization and delegation are key. For instance, If I'm overseeing several programs, I'll delegate routine tasks to other team members while focusing on high-priority tasks that need my attention.
Why do you want to work as a program coordinator for our company?
I've been following your company's work and I'm impressed by your commitment to mention a specific area of interest, such as innovation, sustainability, etc. I believe my background in managing large-scale programs and my passion for delivering impactful results align well with your company's values. I'm eager to contribute to your mission and help coordinate programs that drive success for both the company and the community.
How do you manage deadlines and ensure projects stay on track?
I manage deadlines by breaking down the project into smaller, actionable tasks and assigning realistic timelines for each. I then use project management software to track milestones and deliverables. Regular team check-ins allow me to monitor progress and address potential issues before they cause delays. For example, during a recent project, I set up automated reminders and adjusted the schedule to accommodate team members' workloads, ensuring we met the final deadline.
How do you deal with stressful situations or tight deadlines?
I remain calm and focused during stressful situations by keeping a clear head and organizing tasks according to priority. I break the situation into smaller components and delegate tasks when necessary. During tight deadlines, I always communicate openly with my team to ensure we are all aligned and working efficiently. I found that having a contingency plan for potential setbacks helps reduce stress.
Can you describe a time when you had to deal with a difficult team member? How did you handle it?
In one instance, I had a team member who struggled to meet deadlines and communicate effectively. I approached them privately to discuss the challenges they were facing and found out that they were overwhelmed with their workload. Together, we prioritized their tasks and set clear, achievable goals. I also checked in more frequently to provide support and ensure they stayed on track. This led to improved performance and team morale.
What do you think are the key skills for a successful program coordinator?
Key skills for a program coordinator include strong organizational abilities, attention to detail, excellent communication, and the ability to multitask. Additionally, it's important to be adaptable, as programs often encounter unexpected challenges. I also believe that having good problem-solving skills, leadership abilities, and being able to maintain a positive, proactive attitude are crucial to success in this role.
How do you assure that program goals align with organizational objectives?
Before starting any program, I ensure that the goals are aligned with the broader organizational mission. I collaborate with senior management and other departments to define the program's objectives and ensure that they contribute to the company's overall strategy. Throughout the program, I continually assess progress and make adjustments to ensure we are meeting the intended outcomes and staying in line with the organization's objectives.
Tell us about a time when you implemented a new process or tool to improve program delivery.
At my previous job, I introduced a new project management tool, Trello, to help streamline communication and task tracking across teams. Initially, the team was reluctant to switch from email-based communication, but after providing training and demonstrating the tool's effectiveness in tracking milestones and improving transparency, they quickly adapted. This improved efficiency and collaboration, leading to faster project completion times.
What strategies do you use to manage stakeholder expectations?
I ensure that stakeholder expectations are managed through transparent and consistent communication. From the outset of the program, I set clear and realistic expectations regarding timelines, deliverables, and potential challenges. I regularly provide progress updates and involve stakeholders in key decision-making moments to ensure they feel informed and involved throughout the process.
How do you ensure that program documentation is up to date and organized?
I believe in maintaining a centralized and well-organized system for program documentation. I use cloud-based platforms like Google Drive or Dropbox to store and categorize all relevant documents. I set regular check-ins to ensure that all documents, such as project timelines, contracts, and reports, are updated regularly. Additionally, I maintain a checklist to verify that all relevant stakeholders have access to and are using the latest versions of the documents.
How do you motivate a team to ensure the successful execution of a program?
I motivate teams by fostering a collaborative and positive environment. I make sure to acknowledge each team member's contributions and celebrate milestones along the way. I also ensure that everyone understands how their role contributes to the overall success of the program, which gives them a sense of ownership. When challenges arise, I encourage an open discussion to find solutions together, which keeps the team engaged and focused.
What do you do if you realize a program will not meet its deadlines or objectives?
If I realize that a program will not meet its deadlines or objectives, I assess the situation to identify the root cause. I then communicate openly with the team and stakeholders, providing a revised timeline and explaining the reasons behind the delay. I explore alternative solutions, such as reallocating resources or adjusting the scope to get the program back on track. I also make sure to learn from the experience to avoid similar issues in the future.
How do you ensure effective communication across multiple teams involved in a program?
I set up regular meetings to ensure open lines of communication across all teams involved. These meetings allow us to align goals, address concerns, and share updates. I also use collaborative platforms like Slack or Microsoft Teams to facilitate day-to-day communication. By creating a shared understanding of each team's role, I ensure that everyone is informed and working toward the same objectives.
How do you handle changes in project scope or priorities?
Changes in project scope or priorities are inevitable, and I handle them by first evaluating the impact of the change on the overall program. I assess whether the change is feasible within the current timeline and budget, and I communicate the implications to all stakeholders. After gaining agreement on the new direction, I adjust the plan, update timelines, and ensure that the team is aligned with the revised goals.
How do you handle situations when team members are not meeting expectations?
When team members are not meeting expectations, I address the issue early by having one-on-one discussions to understand any challenges they may be facing. I provide feedback in a constructive manner and work with them to create a plan for improvement. I also offer additional support, whether through training or resources, to help them get back on track. If necessary, I adjust their responsibilities to better suit their strengths and ensure the overall program success.
Why do you think you are a good fit for this program coordinator position?
I believe I'm a great fit for this role because of my strong organizational and communication skills. I have experience managing complex programs from start to finish, and I thrive in environments that require problem solving and attention to detail. My ability to adapt to changing circumstances and ensure alignment with program goals makes me confident that I can help your team successfully execute its initiatives.